Well, here's the sky here. And they're just still spraying the chemtrails everywhere. And the fire's, you know, pretty much completely out. And they still have a bunch of roads blocked off here in Fallbrook. Over here on Olive Hill in Burma, they're not letting people in or out. My wife just talked to some friends and we'll meet you. She said that we'll meet you at the blockade. What are they going to do? Where the cops sitting there, and I'll bring you some stuff and hand it to you and you can have it. But it's ridiculous. They're not letting people out of their neighborhood over there. I mean, that's just, what is this? The Gestapo state. It's pure insanity. They're absolutely conditioning people to accept, you know, tyranny. That's really what it comes down to. And even these cops that are doing this, you know, they took an oath to uphold the Constitution. And this is out and out just talk about, you know, your freedoms being taken away from you. You can't even leave your neighborhood when there's absolutely no threat. There's no fire burning down there anymore. It's I'm not gonna say it's totally out because I'm sure there's still smoldering in embers down there, but it's out unless they kick it back up again. And the Santa Ana condition, it started on Monday. Santa Ana's normal Santa Ana's. There probably hasn't been normal Santa Ana conditions in years and years here in Southern California. But natural ones, when they were occurring, were, you know, 3-4 days, and then they died down. This one, we're into Sunday now, so it's been going on a week. They've been keeping this high pressure up, if that's even how they're doing it. But I mean, look at the sky here. That's all that chemtrail. I just took some pictures of it, doing some time lapses. I mean, there's some smoke down there still, but it's weird. And the clouds are all moving east. I'll post this with the time lapse, and you can see the clouds moving east. But you know, this is just ridiculous. At a town meeting, what to do about the Lilac fire last night. It's like, well, you know, guys, the fire's out. Why are we continuing? You know, now it's time to just help people that lost their homes and work on that. I don't know if that's what they talked about. If I would have gone, I would have been, who knows what I would have said, handed out flyers or something. But you know, I know part of me keeps a low profile because my wife's a school teacher here. So people come up to her and, yeah, your husband was at the town meeting last night. He's a real nutcase. Yeah, what are you going to do when you see this stuff and everybody wants to remain in their, you know, apathy? It's apathy. You know, even most of them don't care. And if they do care, then it's their, you know, willful ignorance. You know, they don't want to know if they do care. And then it goes into cognitive dissonance, you know, where you have two contradictory, you know, points of view on something, and you know, you hold a false view on something, and then the truth is told to you, and you're just going to keep hanging on to your, you know, the one that's not the truth, because you just can't handle the truth. So, you know, there's kind of, and then normalcy bias. You know, you don't want your world rocked, man. You're like, I don't want to believe that. I just want everything to be normal. You know, this isn't happening. This can't happen. Well, it is happening. So that's what it is. Apathy, willful ignorance, cognitive dissonance, and then just normalcy bias. And that's how I see it anyways. So, I know, pretty ridiculous. They're not even letting people out of their neighborhoods for absolutely no reason other than to condition them. Just like that video I showed. In fact, I'll make another one just of my phone with that alert on there, you know. High winds, you know, extreme fire danger. That was Wednesday night. Fire started Thursday, you know. Obey authorities. That's like programming people to just, you know, do as you're told. You know, don't think for yourself. We know what's best for you. We're keeping you safe over here on Olive Hill. Not even letting people out of their homes. Well, you can come out of your homes, but you can't leave your neighborhood. And that's just one area that I know of because we have friends up there. My wife just talked to him. She said, if you need anything, I'll just meet you at the barricade. Is that ridiculous? Tell me, is that not ridiculous? But there's this guy here. I'm doing some time lapses just to show how the, the wind and these chemtrails are intermingling with the smoke. I can still see helicopters flying about, but that's no traffic, air traffic taking off. Usually the weekends are real busy here. People that have private planes here flying, but obviously they got roads blocked here still when nothing's going on. I can see no air traffic. I can understand that. They're still keeping an eye on the fire kicking up again if it does. But still, anyways, that's it. Enough Dan rambling on.
This was a text message alert that came on Wednesday night before the fire started, the Lilac fire in San Diego. Strong winds overnight creating extreme fire danger. Stay alert, listen to authorities. All right, this is how they're programming us. This is it, guys. And here's where the fires were. Right there on my globe here. But again, I just want to emphasize that they're using our smartphones to precondition us to what is going to take place next and obey the authorities. Enough said.
And for the record, I paid like $800 for this globe. I see it going on the internet for as much as like $1,400. Sort of light on it. But I once bought into that. Once thought it was the truth, but now I just look at that thing and I just go, how ludicrous is that to believe that's the shape of this place we live?
That's that one I saw dumping at the trailer park. Kind of a weird looking thing. They use it for other things other than putting the fires out. Looks like it's heading home for the evening. But here's the sky here. Looks like almost like there is some kind of storm front of some kind trying to come through. I don't know how. Yeah, he might be circling around, see which way he goes. Yeah, there he goes. Heading back towards the fires. I was listening to the ham radio and guys were just saying that they're just letting the inside portions of the fire burn and just hitting the perimeters of it with the water dumps. So, and I don't see any smoke coming from over there. But like I was saying earlier, I guess it could. I don't know, it's going back the other way. He's coming back this way now. I don't know what he's doing. Going back to the airport. Cut fire. Test run. Maybe they was having engine problems. Sounds like another one's taking off. Oh, a chemtrail going through up there. They've just been doing that all day long. The camera doesn't want to. It's right in there. Mixing it with all this other, whatever system this is trying to blow in here. Pretty weird looking. Mixture of smoke and somewhat. It looks like a storm system, but it's all wispy and completely hammered down with the chemtrails. So it's all it would take is some rain and a couple hours of rain and fire would be done. Sure save a lot of money and all this helicopters buzzing around everywhere. But that's not their objective. That's it. I'll add this to my long video. That'll probably be it for today. I'm tired of looking at this stuff. Still see helicopters down there flying around. Okay, I just went inside and uploaded my last video. I was listening to my ham radio. I don't have a ham radio operator's license. My son did. He got it when he was like, oh, this is a different one than that other one that took off. Big weird looking one. But anyways, the guys were the one with the big red Cal Fire one with the hose hanging out of it. And they were talking about that, and they were asking, did you see that helicopter? It was heading north, and I was wondering what direction it was going. I wanted to get on there and say, yeah, I flew out, and I looked like it was going to go back to the fire, and then turned around and went back to the airport. So I don't know, maybe it was having engine problems or doing a test flight, or they're working on the
maintenance of it or something over there and just doing a test run. But anyways, when I can get down to 76, I'll go down there and take some pictures and do a report on it. Can't get anywhere near it now. In fact, the road I was on yesterday is all blocked off on not yesterday, Friday evening. When I did that video, is all blocked off. They don't want people down there. And but I was thinking about the 2007 fires, and with people reporting on what happened in Santa Rosa, and how the fire just, with certain houses and commercial centers were just, turned to just incinerated with no trees or anything burned around them, and other places were just left fine. Well, that was kind of what happened here in the 2007 fires, and it was, I left out of here, I think it was a Monday morning, and I hit 15 to go out to the desert, and it was just windy, and I thought, no way, and it was on the other side of 15, opposite side of Fallbrook on 15. I thought, no, it's not going to jump the Interstate 15, 4 lanes of freeway, shoulder, and center divide, but anyways, it did. But I even thought back then that just how bizarre it was. Because we had friends that lost their homes here. And there was like 250 homes burned. And I remember even back then looking at and driving around town afterwards and seeing that there was like one house over here just completely incinerated, and then a house across the street or next door that didn't even touch. And I just thought, well, it was windy, very windy. Abnormally very windy for a Santa Ana condition. And he's heading back to Fallbrook Airport. It's right across the street from my house, right across the highway. I don't mind it. It's kind of noisy sometimes, but it doesn't bother me. But anyways, I remember looking and just thinking, this was bizarre, but it was windy, and I just thought, well, embers were burning around just like they're saying and telling us, why certain areas are totally burned and one house is burned and one isn't. Well, that house just, big ol' ember landed on its roof, and that one got cooked, and guess what? The one 50 yards down the road didn't even touch it. So I kind of wish I would have known then back in 2007, but who did? I mean, I don't think even Judy Wood had her book out yet about the towers, and I don't think that was the same technology. Different frequencies. I think that was a different type of frequency technology, and the fires are being started with laser technology. I think they're two completely different technologies. So that's just from my research and what I've been hearing other people say on, what they do in their research on the internet. So anyways, on Wednesday, if the roads are open, they should be. They can't keep them closed forever down there. But Gopher Canyon's closed still, which is way away from the fire. It does go down into the end of North River Road there, but they don't have to block off Gopher Canyon because that goes into Vista. And in Sleeping Indian, the back way into Fallbrook from Oceanside, they got that blocked off. Cops sitting there. They got Gird Road blocked off. So really the only way you can come into town right now is Mission Road off of 15 and back out on Mission Road off of 15. My wife went out of town and to go on work out on base, and then she was able to get back on through base, so that was fine. And she asked the guard at the gate, she said, if I've got some friends that want to get back to their home that are up in San Clemente, will they let him through? And the guy just said, it's really kind of up to the particular guard at the time. So, but they let her go through the Naval Weapons Station. Lots of helicopters, man. I've seen that one before. Doesn't even look like it's set up to drop water. Anyways, video's getting too long. But again, I'll try to get over on 76, and just curious to see how that fire spread and why San Luis Rey Downs got hit so bad. Now that I know what I know, I'll be able to have a little better insight into, not that I'm any kind of an expert on how fires burn, but like I say, that 2007 fire, I just thought it was odd. Even back then, I just thought, this is weird. This is weird how certain houses were burned and certain houses weren't. So even back then, I was kind of tripping out on it. And that was when I knew something, but I didn't know they were using laser technology and zapping the houses. And we still don't really know what they're doing, but they're definitely doing it. Definitely. So, as usual, I'm rapping. I wasn't going to do another video, and then I went in to upload that last video I just took, and guy came on the ham radio that we'd been patrolling around Fallbrook, and still a lot of places that are closed off they're not letting people into. They're letting them park their cars and walk into their neighborhoods. How kind of them. Is that not ridiculous? So now they're going to walk into their communities or their neighborhoods without their vehicle to get out in case a fire happens. He said he talked to a couple of firemen that were picking up some groceries at Albertson's grocery store here, and he talked to him for a bit, and he said the fireman told him, well, my wife, they live in town, this particular fireman does, and he told his wife, make sure they're at home, they haven't evacuated, that make sure the car full of gas, pointed downhill, and it's not time to unpack the car with the necessities. So this is what the firemen are being told. But anyways, the fireman said the fire's 60% contained, but the wind conditions could change at any time. So this is what they're being fed. This is how they're being controlled. This is how the people above them and what they're being told above them and what they're being told. So this is how it works, guys. CAL FIRE they get their money from the federal government. The federal government gets their money from who, the International Monetary Fund. Look at that chemtrail going through right there. Every time I come out here, there's one flying through. There's two of them. There's three of them up there right now. You can't see them, but they're spraying the black stuff. So chemtrail jet right there. But anyways, that's how even the firemen, the police, and everybody is being controlled and manipulated from the top down. They're all being brainwashed, quite frankly. Because this Santa Ana should have long been over. To say that, with this, obviously, from what I'm recording here and what I recorded yesterday and the day before about the conditions, obviously there's some kind of storm front trying to move in, which is just would completely eliminate a good 2-hour dump of rain, and this fire would be done. Everybody could go home, but that's not what they want. This is just, I don't know how to emphasize what's going on. Lots of jets up there. Lots of jets spraying the chemtrails, and look at the natural clouds here. They're being completely knocked down by the chemtrails, and the fire is not producing any smoke at this point. Like the guy on the ham radio was saying, there's hot spots over there. They're hitting the perimeters, the outside perimeters of where the fire is burning, knocking that down and letting the inside burn. It's a riverbed. I don't know. The whole thing is just weird. I won't be able to do a good report on it until I get over there and kind of really check things out, and from what I know and research I've done on this for years now. Like, look at this up there. See those streaks up there? Anyways, the chemtrails coming through, and they're the black, dark chemtrails. So anyways, I thought I needed to do one more report. I know my video is going to get kind of long. It's going to take me a while to export it and then upload it to YouTube. So this better be the last one for tonight. But I just wanted to add that of what they're saying about the fire, and what the fireman himself was even saying, and how they got him thinking the wind could change at any time, which it could. I mean, you don't know what they're going to do. They could just in the middle of the night start zapping houses, lasering houses. And a jet going through up there. I need to send this camera in. I bought it in February, so it's got a year warranty on it. So it's still under warranty. Doesn't focus in. Zoom doesn't work good on it. I mean, I've used the heck out of it, but still a year. It should last longer than that. So, all right. That's it. I promise. So, lots of helicopters landing over at Fallbrook Airport for the evening. All day long it's just been helicopters taking off and landing at Fallbrook Airport, refueling. And look at this. Look at this dark chemtrail up there. You can see that one being laid. Look at that right there. Totally dropped in altitude. Laying in the dark trails. So who knows what mixture that was. But then again, you have the somewhat natural water vapor clouds trying to move in, produce some rain. And they're just getting hammered with the chemtrails. That dark one there. Look at that thing. Look at that. And that's not smoke. There's some smoke. I'm smelling some smoke. But the fire is pretty much knocked down over there. A lot of smoldering areas, and they're just over emphasizing, I think, with the condition that this fire could spring up overnight again. And maybe it could. I mean, with the technology they have, they start zapping our community here in Fallbrook with their laser technology from some of these planes I see flying through that aren't doing anything. Maybe they have the laser technology on them. Poor little bird. Oh, now there's two of them going through right there. Look at this one, man. Very precisely laid. Dropping in altitude is another one. Not sure what direction that one was going. Right there. That one right there. Some idiot in his hot rod racing up and down Mission, and he can't even get out of town on Mission. Please. I had a supercharged Bullet Mustang at one time. It was fun. It's kind of irritating listening to those guys. So, anyways, look how this one's spreading out there.
That right there
was not a natural cloud formation, and it's the darker chemtrail. So they're spraying some thick, nasty stuff right now. So like I was saying, I'll get over on, when I get back from the desert, try to get over there today, but pretty much all the roads were blocked. They don't want anybody over there. And, and they're doing their job. Most of the firemen and police officers are doing their job, but again, guys, if you only knew how you're being used. Same with people in our military. They're part of the, they're our United States military industrial complex is absolutely controlled. Just like Dwight Eisenhower, President Eisenhower, General Eisenhower, in his farewell speech warned about. Was he part of it? No, of course he was. But I think he was a good guy in his final speech. I don't know. Let God be his judge. Now that plane up there, that's not a private plane. Because all air traffic is pretty much shut down, so maybe some kind of spotter plane. I don't know. There's the sunset here. This is just in one weird fire. And then again over here, you can see that when I see these wave patterns in the sky, like that right there. It's being hit with some kind of microwave transmissions, because that's not being caused by the wind. Going back to that black chemtrail that was just sprayed. Look how it's spreading out there. And again, this should be like a rain front coming through. We have not got any rain whatsoever since summer. No rain. I mean, there were a couple mornings where it drizzled a little bit, but zilch rain. All fall and now into the winter. No rain whatsoever. No rain. None. Our weather is being controlled. The Air Force document from 1998, owning the weather by 2025. Well, I think they're already there, man. They're already there. They own the weather now. So, there you go. Yeah, look how this one's spreading out. And just at the beginning of this video when that was laid right there. Look how dark it is. And look how precise it was and how it dropped in altitude right there. And look how it's spreading out into that dark stuff. So is that what all this dark stuff is? A different chemical mixture of the aerosol spraying? Or is it a natural storm front trying to come through with, what should be billowing cumulus clouds producing rain? I mean, they're not producing any rain. They should be big, billowing cumulus clouds producing rain after what should have been a 3 or 4 day Santa Ana. But yet, again, they're just being dumped on relentlessly, absolutely relentlessly, with the aerosol spraying. All right, one last shot here of just to show how that chemtrail formation, that dark one just dropped in altitude, and that right there is what it dumped. That right there was from the jet, and it's one dark mixture. So definitely they use different types of aerosols. So anyways, like I say, I'll try to get over to and I'll do a report when I get over to the San Luis Rey Valley on Wednesday when I get back. Couldn't get over there today. Nobody can you hardly move around Fallbrook. You got roads blocked off everywhere. They're like controlling us like rats in a maze. And here's another jet going through up there. Yeah, my camera's not picking it up. I gotta send it in. There it is right there. But there's a spotter plane up there. Assuming that is what that is. Twin prop. It's not a jet that's a private jet or just a guy flying around up there, because obviously this airspace right now is completely being blocked off. So there you go. There's the layers of clouds, the white wispy chemtrails, and then the darker black chemtrails that are really hammering down these what should be billowing cumulus clouds producing rain. Yep, there goes the crows back. Alright, that's enough. Okay, we got sun setting and we still got the dark trails coming through. One went through right there, knocking down the storm system that was trying to come through. Where are the clouds gone? Where have all the cumulus clouds gone? Long time passing. Where have all the cumulus clouds gone? Long time ago. Who was that? Peter, Paul, and Mary? Well, how about another song from that era? Tin soldiers and Nixon coming. We're finally on our own. What are the lyrics? I hear the sound of the drummer beating, something like that. 4 dead in Ohio. Yep, oh, that's where they've gone, military-industrial complex. Look at that. Look at that. We should have billowing cumulus clouds producing rain. As they're dumping, just dumping all kinds of crap from the jets, and just bizarre. Just bizarre, and nobody has a clue what's going on. Firemen, policemen, just being told to block off roads, making people walk back to their homes. You got to park your car here. You got to walk in for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Absolutely no reason. What's going on here in my town in Fallbrook. My wife taught school here for 27 years. She resigned and now she works with homeschooling families. She had enough of just the BS with the socialists that were communists, actually. They were infiltrating the public school system. But she works with homeschool families now. That's what she does. She walked away from it. Walked away from her retirement. 27 years of teaching. Walked away because she wasn't going to be part of the indoctrination of brainwashing children. You know, how about a few cops stand up and do the same thing? How about a few firemen speak out of what's going on, even if you lose your pension? Very few people of integrity anymore. Very, very, very few. Talked about Dietrich Bonhoeffer and who he was during Nazi Germany and how he went back. Talked about my good friend as a little girl in occupied Germany, and it later became East Germany, and she escaped when she was 17 years old. 17 years old. She said, I had enough of this. And she got out. She's pretty tenacious. Anyways, her father was a Lutheran pastor that knew Dietrich Bonhoeffer, and they spoke out against Hitler, and they paid for it with their lives. I don't see anybody doing that now here in America with what's going on. I'm not shutting up. I'm not shutting up, because when I get to the other side, at least God can't tell me that I wasn't trying to be a watchman on the wall. I am a watchman on the wall. How many people are doing what I'm doing? A few. There's a few out there. But very few. In the church, they're 501c3. Can't even talk to those people. You know, they're all about building a bigger church and programs and preaching a washed down gospel message. I'll let God be their judge. I'm certainly not one to judge them. I got my hang-ups myself. So, anyways, that's the evening sky here. I'm uploading a video right now. Maybe I'll post this too, maybe I won't. But we should be getting some rain out of this storm system that tried to come through. Like I said, it should have been big, billowing, cumulus clouds producing rain. And yet, nothing. Nothing but just hammered down clouds with chemical aerosols being zapped with microwave technology that they're using to strip the winds and control the weather, along with what I am completely convinced of right now, that they're using laser technology to start the fires. So there you go. You're a jet helicopter warming up to take off. Fallbrook Airport. They've been coming in and out all day here, fighting the fire that really could have just been diminished immediately. It didn't have to start in the first place, because it was started.
They create the weather conditions. They dried it out as much as they could, kicked up the winds, zapped it with laser technology, and started the fires. Like I say, I'll get down to Bonsall and go over to San Luis Rey Downs, where all those horses were murdered. I don't know why they were picking San Luis Rey Downs out. Who knows? Just like some of the wineries up in Sonoma County and Santa Rosa with the last fires, and why certain wineries were just demolished and other ones were left standing. You know, Agenda 21, Agenda 30, 2030, Agenda 2021. I'm sure that's all part of it. Part of the New World Order, part of the United Nations, and ultimately it's all being controlled by human beings that are Luciferians, that are being controlled by Satan himself. So, except Jesus Christ is your Savior, guys. This can't not go on much longer. Read the Gospel of John. In the beginning was the Word. The Word became flesh, and the Word was God. That's Jesus Christ. Read the Gospel. Well, we got a beautiful sunset here. My wife the other night came out and she's like, "Oh, look at the beautiful sunset. How beautiful it is." And I was like, yeah, it's kind of like looking at napalm being dropped and saying, "Look how beautiful that is." She's like, "Can't you just enjoy anything anymore?" Well, no, I can't. I can't enjoy that sunset because I know the mixture of chemicals that are up there that are poisoning us. I don't look at it, yeah, it's pretty to look at, but I know what's behind it. I know what's causing that bright orange sky. Like looking at a mushroom cloud or a nuclear bomb and saying, "Oh, look how pretty that is." Yeah, it is pretty, but once you understand what is causing that bright orange sky and the chemicals that are up there, it kind of takes the prettiness out of it. I know. Just call me Mr. Doom and Gloom. You want to read something that's doom and gloom? Read the book of Revelation. We're not there yet, guys, but we're real close, real close. Except Jesus Christ is your Savior, because He's our only hope. Our only hope in this crazy world that's just being controlled by evil men, and it's like Satan's last stand. Satan's last stand. He's gonna unleash. All hell's gonna break loose real soon here. Real soon. Real soon. It already is, but it gets real nasty if you read the book of Revelation and take it literally. It's not that hard to understand if you take it literally. The book of Revelation actually explains itself.
and where it doesn't explain what's going on, you can use a concordance and the words it uses and go back to the Old Testament and to where it like the book of Daniel, like what Daniel talks about. Actually, the what Daniel wrote about and what John's vision was on the island of Patmos. And I don't believe it was a vision. I think he was literally taken into the future. And God has the ability, Jesus has the ability to do that. I think John was literally taken into the future and wrote the book of Revelation. And then when he got off the island of Patmos, he came back and wrote the Gospel of John. That's why his account of the four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, why his account was so different from the other three. It is because he met face to face the Lion and the Lamb in his glorified state of God Almighty. And John was very close to Jesus when he walked on earth. In fact, the Bible states that John was most loved by Jesus. He was just a young man, a young boy. I mean, he was probably, just a young teenager when Jesus was crucified on the cross by his shed blood. That's the only way any of us are ever going to be saved from this evil, evil world, except Jesus Christ is your Savior.